Backlinks for local SEO. Do backlinks matter? When should you get backlinks? I think this is actually a really good topic that I don't see covered very often. And if you're going to try to find something that is going to have a diverse and extreme set of opinions and answers, this is the topic, right? So if you're a local business owner, if I'm a local business owner, when do I want to get backlinks? Do I care about backlinks? Do they matter to me? And when should I get backlinks in the process? So let's first jump to Google search and look for, do backlinks affect Google Map rankings? Now, the AI overview says they can play an indirect, right? But the AI overview is kind of whatever. So it says they're not a ranking factor, whatever. Let's jump down here. This is where I think it gets interesting. Our top result says that they're one of the top factors. Our second result says, yes, it does affect the rankings. Our third says yes. Our fourth says no, they're not a significant ranking factor. Okay. This says they're a positive signal. Yes. Okay, they're crucial. The more likely you are to rank. So the consensus on many of these, and let's be honest, from many of these SEO forums or SEO websites is that yes, they are, with some of them saying they're not a significant factor, and also with Google itself in our AI overview saying they're not a significant factor. So what do we do with this information and what does this mean? Now let me give you my opinion and from what I've seen. From what I've seen, backlinks offer very little, if no, impact on how your Google business ranks. And one of the reasons on Google Maps, and one of the reasons I say this is because there are businesses out there with no backlinks and even businesses out there with no websites, no website that rank on Google Maps. Now, do they rank high? Whatever. That's a whole nother topic, but they do rank. And if I was going to say if backlinks matter, I would say yes, but they are not one of the top ranking factors. To say that backlinks are a top ranking factor to me seems absurd. And another reason I would say that is because how many times do you see a new business open up that has a name, like somebody is buying, is going out and getting a franchise, right? And it takes them a long time to get up to the top or even to the, top 3 of Google, right? If backlinks mattered, that means I could just make a new website or I could just make a new Google business location and attach it to my website and I'd get a giant boost from that. So, and I have not seen that to be the case. I think the primary driver of why a franchise does well is because if they have a name that people recognize, they're going to have a higher click-through rate, but I'll get into that. So let's go through what matters in rankings and where backlinks are and when I would get backlinks. So I think your name, your reviews, right? Being active, the time that you're active, your click-through rate, your review velocity, all of these factors are going to have a much bigger impact on your Google business profile and your local rankings on the map than your website and your backlinks. Your website can play in for cities, service areas that you're in, and services, especially more niche services. So let's say I'm a gutter company, right? And let's say I offer let's say galvanized steel gutters, right? Something a little bit less searched for. If I have a page on my website about that, then if somebody searches for that, Google's going to know pretty well that I offer that service. So that's where your website can play in. Okay. So it is good to have a website, especially when it comes to ranking outside of your city, in other cities that are surrounding, other areas surrounding you, and also when people are searching for more niche products and services that are more long tail, right? So that's how your website plays in. So if I'm a local business and I'm doing map SEO, I don't give a freaking one iota about backlinks except for local citations. Okay. Now, or citations, local citations, right? So we're talking about Yelp, Bing, Yellow Pages, right? Hot Frog or whatever. There's hundreds. There's a couple hundred probably that are worth getting of these local citations, but you're not getting those for the backlinks. You're getting those for the trust signal that builds with Google that you're a legitimate business, you're located in that area, you're located at your address with your phone number and your website and the name of your business, right? NAP, right? That's the signal that's coming from these citations, is Google being able to trust that you're a legitimate real business. Not that you get some backlink from some, frankly, ineffective source that everybody can get, right? So that's the signal and that's the backlink that you want to build. You do want to get these citations. You want them. They're great, but you're not getting them for backlinks. So let's be clear about that, right? These are for trust signal and NAP with Google. So you want to get those. Those are backlinks worth getting, but not for the backlink quality and power. So if I'm looking at backlinks, do I need them? No, don't spend your money on backlinks, especially if you're new. You probably could go for 6 months, 12 months, 24 months without really having to worry about backlinks while you build your Google business profile up and you get your website content and all that going. That's what I would be spending money on first, is that. Now, if you have the budget at first to start getting backlinks, then do. And let's talk about why. But at some point, do you want to get backlinks? Yes. Yes, you do. You want to build your site authority. So let's talk about now why. There is a whole slew of people looking for your services locally that are going to still go to the search results, right? So a certain number of people are going to go down past the map pack and down into the search results and click on search results. They still matter. They still drive traffic, especially for services and bottom of funnel, what we call bottom of funnel, right? Where people are ready to buy something, not how do I, not the how questions and top of funnel where somebody's just asking questions, but like, I need a gutter company in my city. That's bottom of funnel. And people from that bottom of funnel are going to go to the search results. And we want to be at the top of those search results for those searches, right? But we don't need to be there right away. The Google map we can do for a lot cheaper, and we can build our reputation there and then start getting the backlinks and start building out that profile. And there's, I think, a whole nother conversation about AI as well. AI seems to pull from, at least right now, from Google searches. Chat pulls from Google searches. I think having overall authority is going to be positive for AI. Who knows? Maybe AI starts using backlinks and authority as a way to factor into their algorithm like Google is already doing. So we don't know where AI goes, but I do think there's the benefit of getting the customers. There are customers, building your name up, right? And building your website authority so you can go after more keywords in the local search. I just wouldn't start there. I would start with Google Maps. I would start doing the things that are going to matter most to your business. I see 60 to 70% of most local businesses, right? Most local home service businesses are going to get calls directly from the Google map. And then some of those people will go to your website and they'll call from there. So it's good to have a website, good to have a Google map, but far less people are, that's your bread and butter. That's the majority. That Google 3-pack, the Google Map pack, and then people going into the Google Maps and doing searches. That's where the bulk of your customers are. So focus on that. Don't worry about backlinks unless you can afford it. Is there a benefit? Is there a cost benefit to backlinks and building your backlinks? Absolutely. But I think it's further down the road. And are those going to affect how you rank? No, not even close, especially at the beginning of your business, or if you haven't done a lot. You can get reviews on Google Maps. You can get your review velocity, how many reviews on average you're getting, get that up, get all your optimizations, right? Get your website, get your pages, post on Google Business, get your services, products, everything with your Google Business profile. Those are all going to be a bigger driver than backlinks to your website for Google Business Map growth and getting into that top 3 of all the businesses in your local area. That's what I would focus on before backlinks, then get backlinks. So I think that should hopefully put in perspective where backlinks should fall in their importance for a business that is either starting out or doesn't have a lot of rankings in the Google Map pack. Hopefully this helps. We will see you tomorrow.